Fire death toll goes up. Minister of Foreign Affairs Professor Palamagamba Kabudi becomes new chair of a SADC Ministerial Council. And in sports, Tanzania to host first Kabaddi international competition. Good evening, this is Capital News at 9:30. My name is Khadija Zimbwe. First, the national news. The death toll of the oil tanker fire accident in Morogoro has gone up from 75 to 76 after a victim of the incident admitted at Muhimbili National Hospital died today. Speaking in Dar es Salaam, the Director of Communication of Muhimbili Hospital, Aminieli Eligaeshi, has said that Tanzania People's Defense Force has also sent a team of doctors to improve services for the fire casualties.
Sasa ikishatokea hali kama hiyo,
when something like this happens, we must find the right way to address this so as to avoid future problems. The work going here is very encouraging, and I commend all Muhimbili National Hospital staff working on this.
Kwa wagonjwa ambao hawana wazazi au hawana watoto,
for patients with no parents or children, we take samples from close family members such as a sister, brother, aunt, or grandparents, who will make it easier for us to find a match.
Kuchangia damu.
Blood is needed, and we've decided to come and donate some. We must recognize this need. That is why today there is 300 of us here and more in other regions.
The Minister of State, Prime Minister's Office, Policy, National Assembly, Labour, Employment and the Disabled, Jenista Mhagama, has said that a team from the Ministry of Health in collaboration with psychologists has arrived in Morogoro to give counseling services to victims of the oil tanker fire accident which occurred last Saturday at Msamvu-Itegi area.
At the moment, we have welcomed our fellow workers from the Ministry of Health here at the main community hospital. The task of receiving bodies is also continuing, which is crucial because, as we learned yesterday, the death toll is continuing to rise. I would like to highlight the fact that more relatives have been coming here, and we have been testing them for their DNA. I would like to say that this aid is very important. Whenever such a tragic accident like this one happens, it often leads to people constantly asking themselves why. In fact, some people can even find that they cannot think properly because their thoughts become all mixed up. In light of that, the goal of this aid is to ensure that those who were psychologically affected by the terrible accident are able to return to normal and then resume work.
The new chair of the Southern African Development Community SADC Council of Minister Professor Palamagamba Kabudi has outlined priorities to be overseen by the council, which include ensuring youth employment and implementation of the SADC Protocol on Trade and Free Market. He made the statement in Dar es Salaam during a meeting to hand over the SADC Ministerial Council chair from the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs of Namibia, Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah, who has completed her term.
This year, we must make sure that Kiswahili becomes an official language of SADC member states. We will also work towards removing trade restrictions imposed against Zimbabwe. We see no reason for such sanctions to be enforced, as Zimbabwe just had a free general election where the current president was elected. In addition, Tanzania will promote matters concerning women health and children issues during this year that we will be the chair.
In our region, and to be aligned and to align our programs to our continental aspiration. That is to say, as we prepare for the next phase of renewal of our regional indicative strategic development plan and the SIPO 2020-2030, we also realign the SADC Regional Vision 2050 to speak to the Continental Development Agenda 2063.
Residents from Ilindi village in Kilolo district, Iringa region have complained over increasing the invasion of elephants who have been destroying crops. They raised their concerns during a meeting with leaders of the Kishinet board from Tunduru branch.
This is really affecting us. In addition, this village is very far, yet the elephants have escaped from the reserve. If it is possible, they should take them back. Last year, a villager was killed. Thankfully, he was compensated 1 million shillings. But just recently, another villager was attacked. The herd has destroyed our crops too. We've inspected farms and have identified the scale of damage. We will therefore be taking this forward to relevant authorities so right measures can be addressed.
The upgrading exercise of the permanent voters register at some registration centers in Mwanza City has started, with shortcomings after some biometric voters registration BVR machines were found to be faulty. Residents at the centers say that the situation caused them to stand in long queues.
We encountered problems with some of the machines since morning, and we've not yet received our cards. We're waiting on technicians to come and rectify the problem. There will be no need to transfer machines because we've got enough. Each machine will be used in the specified area. Experts are on standby to address any challenges that may arise. The government has incurred so much cost by installing machinery which doesn't require one to fill a form in a hard copy. You go to the center, you are then registered and receive your card.
The incitement case facing the Member of Parliament of Kigoma Urban Zito Kabwe has continued at Kisutu Rezi Magistrate Court in Dar es Salaam, with the Kigoma Region Criminal Head Mark Njela telling the court that the police force fired bullets at Salim Dose, who died in a fire exchange with the police. Giving his evidence, RCO Njela said that an operation to remove residents in an area they had invaded was conducted between 16th and 18th of October last year after clashes broke out between the invaders and police, which also resulted in the death of 4 people, one of them police officer SP Ramadhani Mdimi. MP Zito Kabwe is facing 3 charges of incitement alleged to have been committed during a press conference held at ACT Wazalendo headquarters on October 28, 2018. Now, moving on, about 72 small tea farmers from Mufindi district, Iringa region have called on the government through the Ministry of Industry and Trade to support Fidelis Mtavango, a small entrepreneur who is facing challenges in operating a small tea plant, which has enabled them get employment and fight poverty.
Further investigation is needed. So far, our ministerial and zone records show that the area belongs to the deceased. He left it to the beneficiary of his will. From 1987 to present is a long time, so someone coming forward to claim today is hard to tell, as most of them were just children then. Since the owner acquired this land, he's made no contribution to the village. There has been a lot of damage done to the forest.
And that is the end of national news. International news follows shortly. And in international news, the High Court in Nairobi, Kenya has given county assemblies the green light to debate the Punguza Mizigo bill after petitioners in the case failed to appear in court. Last month, the court stopped 47 county assemblies across the country from debating and approving the bill fronted by Third Way Alliance Kenya Party.
I am compelled to dismiss.
I've decided to dismiss this case after the complainant failed to show up in court.
We are happy with the order that the judge has made this.
We're happy by the decision made by the judge to throw out the case because the complainant didn't show up in court to justify his case. I urge those who oppose this motion to let the matter go to the people of Kenya to make a decision.
2 people died and 70 others have been admitted in hospital after drinking a local brew at Gikumbi district northeast of Rwanda. The incident occurred after more than 100 people attended a family occasion to celebrate the birth of a child. I started having stomach aches and felt really cold with my head paining. The situation has been stabilized after reaching the hospital. The only thing left is back pains. It's possible that the brew was contaminated, including poor hygiene and mixture of poisonous substances. The Minister of Security and Internal Affairs in Kenya, Fred Matiang'i, has announced a campaign against the narcotics trade with an operation along the coast of the country. The operation is being implemented by the police force. 17 people have already been arrested as the operation entered its second day.
Tulipokea habari kutoka kwa wananchi wapendwa.
We received information from Good Samaritans and our investigators that directly or indirectly this man is involved in illegal drugs. So far we have names of his associates where we have arrested one person who is directly involved in selling drugs. We are beginning the task of combating selling of drugs in Mombasa. It is going to be an intensive exercise, but we are fully prepared to begin the journey. Health specialists at Mulago Hospital in Kampala, Uganda, have expressed concern on increase of the number of children who died from malaria. They say that the increase in malaria cases is an indication that drugs being used to treat the disease are no longer effective.
What we've noticed is that even when we give...
What we have noticed is that even if we have IV artesunate, which is a fast-lung drug for anti-malaria function, has failed to give positive results, causing children to lose their lives, something that we have not seen in the past few years.
Many of these children are coming with severe complications.
Many of these children are coming with severe complications, including severe anemia, meaning they have very low levels of blood, and failing to liver operations. Quite a number of them have been admitted at intensive care unit for closer observations.
And we have had to admit several children to the intensive care unit.
And that is the end of international news. Business news follows shortly after the break. We'll be right back.
Watch Business Edition as we talk to business leaders and experts in sectors that are transforming Tanzania's economy.
To be rich, I have to be a business person.
It's not an easy road at all.
People need to understand. You must quickly think, how cost effective are you going to be?
Business acts as a way in which it can bridge that gap.
Business Edition will keep you informed on latest developments in the financial sector, extractive industry, tourism, agriculture, energy, construction, and so much more. Meet entrepreneurs who create employment opportunities. Watch Business Edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m.
Welcome back, and in business news tonight. Air Tanzania Company Limited ATCL has said the process has begun to start direct flights from Dar es Salaam to Lagos, Nigeria. Director General of ATCL Ladislao Matindi said that the airline plans to have direct flights to Nigeria and Ghana by 2022.
Sababu ni mojawapo ya
We're happy because it is one of the countries in our 5-year economic plan ending 2022 that we should have completed cities to be connected to Africa.
Recent, I've been here for the last 1 year, 8 months. I have observed, how Air Tanzania is growing, and the support, the current administration is giving to that airline in terms of getting new planes and then improving the facilities. Just about a week ago, Terminal 3 was commissioned by the President. My God, it was really an edifice.
Coffee farmers in Songwe region have called on President Dr. John Pombe Magufuli to dissolve the coffee board in the country after claiming that it has been colluding with brokers to lower prices at auctions. If you look at the global market, we expected $145, but at the auction, the hybrid was $120. But the rest were below those figures. However, what hurts the most is that at the auction, not even 1 kilogram was sold. But after the auction, the middlemen began giving us prices that are willing to buy. Thus, we kept on wondering, where did they get such prices? All these problems are caused by Coffee Board, because they are the ones confusing buyers, acting as middlemen between buyers and farmers. We wish for our dear President to be aware of this, and he should dismantle the board as soon as possible. Farmers in Kagera region have been advised to plant cassava, which can withstand diseases and drought, in order to increase production and expand trade in neighboring countries of Rwanda, South Sudan, Uganda and Burundi. Mkombozi, Cheweko, Mkaranga and Mkumba are seeds that are favorable around the lake zone and are available in our farm at Miseni in Kakindo village. We received these seeds from government researchers who have proved that they are resistant to diseases and dry climate, as well as provide good yields recommended for commercial and domestic purposes. It is best that good seeds are available in many places because they can resist diseases and hard conditions with good yields. Right now, cassava has huge and reliable markets with big demands in South Sudan and Uganda. And that is the end of business news. Sports news follows shortly.
Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment of going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's being dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment of going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's being dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Joaquinho, he did lose to Lend.
Welcome back, and in sports news. Now, teams representing Tanzania in this year's All-African Games in Morocco have been handed the national flag with the government urging athletes to have alternative sources of income.
The government, through the National Sports Council, is seeking to introduce other sources of income so that we can get new sources of funds to run sports in general. It is our hope that as soon as possible, things will start to go smooth.
Tanzania will host its first ever Kabaddi international competition, scheduled to start on September 14th.
We will involve our Kabaddi teams from other regions, and the aim of this competition is also that we expect, if all goes well, to start a Tanzanian Kabaddi League. This year we have planned to provide different prizes. There will be trophies as well as cash prizes awarded to participating teams.
Liverpool have been dealt a sizable blow after Alisson was ruled out for a few weeks with a calf injury he suffered in Friday's win over Norwich. Here's more on the story.
The opening day victory was marred by Jurgen Klopp's first-choice goalkeeper having to be taken off after 39 minutes. The newly signed Adrian came on for his debut, and the Spaniard looks set to have an extended run in the team. He is expected to start Wednesday's European Super Cup final against Chelsea in Istanbul. It's not too cool. It's a calf injury which takes him obviously out for a while, Klopp told Liverpool's website. The 32-year-old Adrian has considerable Premier League experience, having signed on a free following 6 years at West Ham.
Anthony Joshua is very comfortable with staging his heavyweight title rematch against Andy Ruiz Jr. in Saudi Arabia, despite growing criticism from human rights organizations, and does not believe it will damage his reputation. His manager Eddie Hearn has said.
Amnesty International is among those to have warned that Saudi authorities attempting to sport wash their abysmal human rights record by bringing the fight billed as the Clash of the Dunes to Diriyah on 7th of December, and have urged Joshua to change his mind. However, Hearn said that he and Joshua had understood that holding the rematch for the WBA, IBF and WBO belts in Saudi Arabia would have its pluses and minuses, but had been persuaded by the vision the country had to promote boxing. Amnesty's UK head of campaigns, Felix Jenkins, has urged Joshua to inform himself of the human rights situation and cited the murder of the journalist Jamal Khashoggi and the ongoing war in Yemen as further reasons to be wary of the Saudi regime.
And Bayern Munich have completed their loan signing of Internazionale's Ivan Perisic with an option to buy the Croatian winger at the end of the season for £20 million. Here's the story.
Bundesliga champions who kick off their campaign against Hertha Berlin on Friday have been frustrated in their attempts to sign attacking players this summer, with Leroy Sané and Callum Hudson-Odoi staying at Manchester City and Chelsea respectively. On Tuesday night, the Bayern manager Niko Kovac hit out at suggestions that Perisic, at 30 years of age, was too old and not of the same caliber as the other players in whom Bayern had been interested. Talking after the 3-1 German Cup win against Energy Kobas, Kovac said, "This debate is basically wrong. Every player deserves some respect."
And that sports item ends our news bulletin for tonight. My name is Khadija Zimbo. Thank you for watching. Good night.
Tulivyojipanga, kwanza tuna banda kule, tutakuwa tuna banda letu kwenye mkutano kule ambako wataalamu wetu watakuwa pale Kwa hiyo watakuwa wanaonyesha na wanaelezea vitu gani tunavyofanya, huduma gani tunazozitoa hapa kwetu. Kwa hiyo tunaamini wajumbe wa mkutano wakiwa wanapita kwenye banda letu wataweza kujua vitu gani tunavyofanya na huduma zipi tunazozitoa.